How's everybody doing this afternoon? Are y'all doing all right? All right. Now, before we begin our official set, I was asked to play this guitar here for the raffle. Yes, thank you. Like she said, it was a $5 donation. If anybody would like to get a chance to win this bad boy, but depending on how this song goes, I might be taking it home with me tonight.
Hello, it is your girl Nelly Lee, aka Ida Marie. So what is up to my YouTube peeps? Now, what y'all know about living in Topeka, Kansas, though? What y'all know about that? Yes, I moved here to Kansas back in 2016, and I had really high hopes moving here because it was quiet, it was peaceful. That's why I came out here for. I came out here for peace and quiet. But as over the years, like now it's 2018, things have happened. I'm ready to move back to the East Coast. Well, let's first start off why I moved here. The reason why I moved here at the time, I was living in Florida. The reason why I couldn't stay there is because all my family was leaving again. I lived down there for about 3 good years by myself. It's very expensive to live down there in Florida. The reason, let me stop. The reason why I'm bringing this up about moving to different states and why I'm living there, because there was a conversation I had with my cousins, my little cousins, and they want to move, and they want to know where to move at, and they want to know how is it. So I told them how Florida was, and I told them how Kansas was. So they really are taking a step back, and they're thinking twice before they move. I said, there's nothing wrong with moving to a state, but you got to know, what does that state offer? You know, what is it? You know, how do they treat? Yes, this is a question you need to ask yourself if you're a black female. How do they treat black females? How do they, is there a lot of black culture there? So this is, I'm going to tell you why I'm bringing this up. I moved to Junction City back in 2016. When I first got there, I was looking for a black radio station. They have no black radio station at all. There was little black culture there. They have black people there. And I want people to understand what diverse means. Diverse does not just mean, oh, it's blacks, whites, Spanish, and Asian. It also has to have the culture there too. You can't just have black people there and don't have the black culture. You can't just have Spanish people there and don't have the Spanish culture there. You get what I'm saying? You can have these people there, but that doesn't make it diverse. So I'm not going to call Junction City a diverse city. And it's not even really a city, it's like a little town. Nothing wrong with being a little town, but you got Fort Riley that you know in the middle, and to the right of it you got Manhattan, and then from Manhattan to the left of it you got Junction City. Manhattan is growing, it's booming. What is wrong with Junction City? That was the question I kept asking when I was living there. I never understood how a place that has the base right there beside it and people are coming out spending money, why is there certain things in Junction City too expensive, like the clothes? I didn't understand that. That place should have cheap things because it's a small town. Small towns normally have cheaper living, not Junction City. I'm not trying to badmouth Junction City. This is just my experience with people who want to move to different places. You need to know more about it before you move to it. I moved here because I have family here, and I eventually moved to Topeka. So let's talk a little bit about Topeka. I might go back to Junction City, back and forth, but let's talk about Topeka. The reason why I moved to Topeka because of a job. When I moved there, I started to notice some of the black people in Topeka. And I didn't notice this when I was in Junction City, but I noticed it in Topeka. I feel like the black people here, they're not really into their culture. They don't really indulge in their culture. They're not proud to be black. They say, oh, I'm proud, I'm good, I'm black, I'm this, I'm that. But half of everybody here who's black, they marry somebody else. It's nothing wrong, like I said, it's nothing wrong with marrying somebody else or dating somebody else, but every black person here just about is married to another race, and the ones that who are with black people, a black mate, they can't stand. Now coming from the East Coast, I didn't really experience too much of that. Like, you have black people who marry other people because they love them, or I saw more black people couples on the East Coast versus here. Now, when I moved here to Topeka, it's just different. I feel like a lot of people are stuck in their ways, and this is the capital, and the place is really, really dead. And when you okay, something like, and when you talk, what the heck is that? And when you talk about Topeka, a lot of people become defensive about it. Like, oh, it's growing, it's growing back to where it was, it's booming, and I don't see it. I don't see it happening. And then there's a place called Wanamaker. I'm a little confused by this because when you talk about Wanamaker, people tend to say, that's not Topeka. We're not Topeka. We're Wanamaker. And I'm like, Wanamaker is not another city. That's a part of Topeka. It's Topeka. So I'm just trying to figure out things here. It just doesn't make any sense to me. So I started, doing Uber on the side. When I did Uber in Topeka, it's very, very slow. So I end up going over to Lawrence. Now, I will tell you this much. I was getting ready to give up on Kansas and just say, hey, you know what, this place sucks. But when I went to Lawrence, Kansas, the people there are totally different. The atmosphere is incredible. Very diverse place. Very diverse. Now, I will say this. Topeka does have black music, but they only got one black channel. Okay, that's it. But it's still stuck in the ways. But going back to Lawrence, I loved it. I thought it was a very nice town. But unfortunately, I'm not gonna move there because I lost someone close to me, so I am moving back to the East Coast. But I told my cousins that Lawrence, Kansas is the best. Olathe is beautiful. Overland Park is beautiful. Kansas City is what's up. They're very different in their own ways, but I especially like Lawrence, Kansas. I will come back and visit Lawrence, Kansas just for the fun of it. I would, because the city, the place, the town was very different. It's very different from Topeka, very different from Junction City. People there are more open-minded. They let you speak your mind. What I noticed with Topeka and Junction City, they don't like other people from other places speaking their mind. They feel that you should be like have a one-track mind. You should not express yourself. And people in Lawrence say yes, they notice that too when they go visit Topeka. I'm not trying to badmouth Topeka. It's just the ideal is if other people like in Lawrence and Olathe and Overland, if they notice this, because I visit these places in Kansas City, if they notice this and they're in the same state, I mean, I know Kansas City is shared with Missouri, but if they notice this about Topeka and it's supposed to be the capital, something is wrong. Then maybe I am right. Maybe there is something wrong here. I mean, I'm just a little, a bit confused by this place. And I'm just trying to figure out what is the purpose of Topeka and what happened to it. It's just pretty much dead. The place is very, very, very dead. And I know I went back to Topeka again, but it's very dead. They say that it's the capital. Very dead. And the part that's alive, which is Wanamaker, doesn't even want to be known as Wanamaker. Then you got their hospital, which is Stormont Vale Hospital. I was told that it was the best. Let's see if it is the best hospital in Kansas. That's what I was told. As you can see, it's number 4. It's another hospital. I'm gonna see if I can say it correctly. The University of Kansas Hospital. I might be saying it wrong, but I'm gonna just show you a picture wherever I'm gonna put it at. That one is number 1. The reason why I'm saying that is that's another thing too. Stormont Vale is not a bad hospital, but it's number 4. So I gotta stop right there. It was the nurses in the hospital that were number 4. It was not the hospital itself. According to another website that, I think it's healthgrove.com, hospitalshealthgrove.com, It was number 7. Yes, it was number 7. Number 1, it was the University of Kansas, which is located in Kansas City. The reason why I'm saying that is because when I asked about this hospital, yet again, out of Topeka, someone told me that it was the number 1 hospital out of Kansas. They didn't say it was number 4. They said it was the number 1 hospital. It was the best hospital out of Kansas. Apparently not. This hospital that's the number 1, it's in Kansas City, and it's shared between Missouri and Kansas. So I don't understand why people hype up Topeka the way how it is. I'm not sure why. Would I recommend this place? Probably not. Is this a good place to start off if you don't have anything? Yes. I would say yes for that. If you need to save up money, this is a good place to start. Junction City, would I say that's a good place? No, I think that's more for retirement. I don't think you can survive there if you're a young single person like myself. For some odd strange reason, Junction City is more expensive than Topeka, and Topeka Junction City can sit inside of Topeka. So, let your girl know down in the comments if you think I was being a little too harsh about Topeka. Do you think I really beat up those 2 cities? Hey, look, I'm from Chucktown. A lot of people don't like it, but when I had moved down to Florida and did hospitality, a lot of people around the globe love Charleston. They don't talk about Kansas. So I don't know. I'm from the East Coast. A lot of people, Europeans, Asians, Africans, they've been to Charleston because they go there for the history. They love the downtown here. I love Charleston myself. That's where I was born and raised at, and it's very expensive there. It's extremely busy. Extremely not busy, but it's busy, but very expensive to live there. So I do, want to move back over there when I retire. But I'm just saying, for a lot of people, they're so defensive about Topeka, but they're not seeing it that this place has so many issues. And if you didn't understand the issue is the people here are stuck in their ways, the blacks and the whites. And it's not really, it's not welcoming to black people. I can sense it. It's not really welcoming. And a lot of people from other places like Lawrence and places like Kansas City, they talk really bad about it. I'm actually talking good about it. A lot of people from other places, other cities, they talk really bad about it. They called it, they said Topeka is a joke. I didn't say that. These are other people from other towns in Kansas that talks badly about it. And Junction City, don't even get me started on that. Somebody from Lawrence said that's sorry excuse of a town. So how you have a military base there and can't even grow. The reason why I'm bringing this up, because yet again, this was a conversation I was having with my cousins and my little cousins, and they were thinking about moving out of South Carolina. And I told them, yeah, you need to do your research on the state as to where you want to move. One of them wanted to move to Maryland. Know the climate. You're in South Carolina. The weather climate is totally different from, Maryland. It's totally different from Kansas. Kansas, it can go either way. If it rain, they'll say it rain and it snow. It snow and it rain. They say it's going to warm up to 30. It warms up to 12 degrees. Hey, you got to know where you're moving at. So just let your girl down in the comments know how y'all feel about the states that you live in and about the cities that you notice how the people act and how do they carry themselves there and how do the black people act. That's the number one thing that I noticed when I got here is how the black people act. They really kind of don't care for their culture, and it's like they just want to be with white people. That's it. Like I say, there's nothing wrong with being with white people. Let me make this clear. Nothing wrong with that. But when you're going to the point as you don't know yourself, you lose yourself in the conversations, and you can't really find yourself, that's an issue. And I saw it in the workplace. I saw it with different people. They're not proud of their culture. You don't see a lot of this. Like when you go like down in Florida and down in South Carolina, I see a lot of this, But now when I went to Kansas City, it was different. It's a different atmosphere. Lawrence is a different atmosphere, so you can't say all of Kansas is like that. So that's not true. I'm just noticing that with Junction City and Topeka, and yeah. Just let your girl down in the comments know how you feel about this. Thumbs up will be dope. Thumbs down not gonna make me frown, because haters are my motivators. Peace.
In South Carolina, the sweetgrass basket is one of the oldest and finest forms of basket weaving in America, a weaving technique introduced to South Carolina by enslaved West Africans. This magnificent art form continues to endure. Today, the descendants of those West Africans, called the Gullah Geechee, are fighting to preserve not only the art, but also the natural resources necessary to create the baskets. Born in Mount Pleasant, South Carolina, the home of the sweetgrass baskets, Jerry B. Taylor is one of the best of these artisans. More importantly, she is leading the charge to bring awareness of overdevelopment, which is destroying the sweetgrass that once grew in abundance. This program was not created to demonstrate the weaving process, but to expose you to the tedious, arduous, and sometimes dangerous process of collecting the raw materials needed before any weaving can begin. I spent several days over several months following Jerry Taylor along highways, in fields, and into crab-filled marshes before any weaving began. Documenting her day at the office helped me understand the answer to what everyone asks when looking to purchase a basket. Why are they so expensive?
A basket like this, in any of the basket, it's not something that you just time. It's something that you get started on a basket, and then once you get started on the basket, it's from the beginning of a basket to the finish of a basket. It's not, you do 5 hours today, 10 hours tomorrow. It's whatever it takes to get that basket completed. If you're buying something like this size, for instance, and you are paying $60 to $80 for this basket, it can't be the authentic basket. It cannot be at $60 to $80. These baskets are supposed to last more than a lifetime. And if you make them that way, it will last more than a lifetime. So when the next person get that basket, it should be in as good a shape as the first person who bought the basket.
Jerry's also exploring contemporary designs, like using materials such as horsehairs. Add to this, she has begun to show her artistic talents as a folk art painter as well.
When you leave this earth, you want to let people know the things that you have done. The basket making is one part of it, but to paint about what we have done, is another thing. It's a good feeling, that you're doing something that, to be able to pass these things on, so that other people could see, because we have lost so many things that we have done. you go back to those times, in your mind, and then you put it on a canvas.
It's no question Jerry Taylor weaves and paints with a passion. An artistic passion she does not only for herself. She does it out of love and remembrance of a grandmother who taught her everything she knows. The materials used are not purchased from a local craft supply house. Sweetgrass basket weavers follow the traditions of the past by collecting and utilizing the natural fibers and methods taught to them by their ancestors.
I'm gonna treat myself this way. Hey, Antika. How are you, my dear?
Just like these young.
Hi, sweetie.
Yeah, man. Thank you so much. Yeah, I want to take a look. Please, I can just stand behind the platform.
I'm going for individual shots this year. You see that picture from last year? Got that forceful walk. How you doing? All right. I see that whole crew behind you.